In honor of my video of top 10 best picks in the draft, I have to fulfill my hater arc and do top 10 worst picks in the draft because there were plenty to talk about. It feels like GMs in the league are getting smarter every year, but there's still some that make absolutely terrible decisions. And that's what this video is catered towards. Catered towards stupidity, to idiocracy. Let's get into it, baby. Number 10, the Timberwolves taking João Berenguer at pick 17. Berenguer could be alright in like 3 years, maybe, but it's all potential, and I doubt he ever sees that potential. They love him because he's a late bloomer, and in the Timberwolves' mind, he's got terrific instincts. But to me, it's another extremely athletic and versatile center where the archetype can pretty much be found anywhere you look. People fall in love with these skinny centers that rim run. Look at Jackson Hayes, look at Jericho Sims, who's still somehow earning NBA contracts. Berenguer had limited exposure. He has an unpolished skill set. He's not a win-now guy, and that team, the Timberwolves, they need competitive rotational pieces right now. I thought Jace Richardson, Rasheer Fleming, or even a Dutiero, they all fit the Timberwolves better, and they would have been such better alternatives. Number 9, a controversial one, the Jazz taking Ace Bailey at pick 5, and I love the execution of this to throw off other teams and get your guy at pick 5. I love how the front office called his bluff, obviously, but I'm just so low on what Ace Bailey can actually be. Everything surrounding him is just so questionable, like just the people that are surrounding him, and you pick the people that surround you. But to me, the idea of him is so much better than the actual player he is. His highlights are by far the best in the class, but the overall tape is just extremely difficult to watch and sit through. He's got dynamic scoring, he's got huge size. That pairs for a good combination, but he just has no decision making. He's got no shooting consistency. His shot selection is so questionable. I doubt his basketball IQ because of all that. I've even thought that he might be Jabari Smith, but he's 3 inches shorter, so that comparison doesn't even make sense. I thought Colin Murray-Boyles here and Cedric Howard were the way better picks. Number 8, the Clippers taking Yannick Konan-Niederhauser at pick 30. Yannick Konan-Niederhauser, he was the last pick of the first round, and I just cannot understand it. The appeal to him is that he's gotten extremely better every single year from his freshman, sophomore to his junior year. I saw on Twitter the first 2 years of his career, he had a negative box plus minus, and then the third year he went positive finally, and he was much more productive his third year than the other 2 years. But to me, that screams of a red flag. It's another skinny frame center. He was such a late riser, but I never really understood that late rise. I know he played good in those combine games or whatever, but look at the full season tape. He's okay. The Clippers have James Harden. He can make Niederhauser work as a lob threat. They also just got Chris Paul who can do the same. But if you wanted that, there's just so many other places to get a guy of that role, as we talked about with the Berenguer pick. The Clippers, they've scouted Niederhauser since he was 15, and to me, they fell in love with him, and they just tunnel visioned too much on him. If you really wanted a lob threat like that, just sign Jackson Hayes or Jericho Sims in free agency, and I doubt that Niederhauser actually ever turns into a rim-running quality of someone like a Daniel Gafford, but, who knows. I would have preferred Kalkbrenner with this pick if you wanted a center, or just as a general fit, Rasheer Fleming. Number 7, the Portland Trailblazers taking Hanson Young at not even round 2, round 1, pick 16. This pick should probably be in the top 5 for worst moves of the draft. The only reason it's not, it draws some Chinese fans into the arena. There's some appeal to that. But let's face it, he was just horrible in the Chinese league. There were NBA crash outs. Look at Edmund Sumner. He went to China and he's absolutely cooking up the league. A few other guys as well. Hanson never cooked in the way that other players did. And I know he's young. At this point, he's got to exponentially get way, way, way better. The actual trade here to grab that future first from Memphis, knowing you wanted Hanson no matter what, that was very nice. But if you take out the selling jerseys portion of it and the seats in the arena to a diverse fan base, this move was so head-scratching, man. Yang, he's got some flashy passes. He's a pretty good playmaker for his size, but he's just got so much limited defensive mobility, and he's so unpolished in terms of his skill set where it just does not justify at all taking him at pick 16. I really love the Nick Clifford fit with the Blazers because I don't really trust Scoot Henderson moving forward. Again, who knows with that? Scoot Henderson could prove me wrong. But if you don't go Nick Clifford here, I would have also liked Jace Richardson, Drake Powell, Rasheer Fleming would have even fit, even Tiero. There were so much better options. Number 6, the Nets taking Ben Saraf at pick 26. Ben Saraf is not the only time the Nets are going to appear in this video, but that's the first domino to fall, man. Saraf was picked at 26. They already took point guard Jaeger Demon. They already took point guard Nolan Traore. What are we doing? Saraf was super high volume. He struggled to be efficient. All of their picks require the ball to thrive. And I do see what you're trying to do. You're trying to play this truly like European style offense where every single guy can dribble with the ball, every single guy can play make on the court. So I see where they're going with the idea, but it's just irresponsible with the execution of that idea. What you like about Saraf is the creativity he has, the rim pressure he has, but he's so inefficient, he's so inconsistent with his shooting, and he's also so inconsistent, he's so inefficient on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, on offense, he shot 22% from 3, and he's not magically turning into Israeli Steph Curry anytime soon. I don't see this at all. Instead of these Saraf and Wool picks, you could have gone Rasheer Fleming and Ryan Kalkbrenner at the end of the first round. If you really wanted a big that can play make in a similar way to Danny Wolf, I even think Amari Williams would have been a better pick. But going Ben Saraf and even Danny Wolf was just irresponsible. Number 5, the Wizards taking Will Riley at pick 21. I thought the Wizards blundered taking Trey Johnson over Cedric Coward, but I see the upside appeal in the volume scoring, so instead I'll focus on the Will Riley pick at pick 21. Neat Clifford, Jace Richardson, Rasheer Fleming, Adu Thiero, and my favorite pick for the Wizards would have been Ryan Kalkbrenner, would have been way more impactful. Will Riley is just totally banking on potential. He's unbelievably light with his frame, and I just doubt he sticks at all on the defensive end. I don't see any world where he plays solid defense in the NBA. The offense, it's inconsistent at best. He's got a 32% three ball, and you have to be so much better at shooting the three ball if you're already skinny, light in the frame, if you're actually going to stick in the league. Washington, they need contributors that can play right now, as well as offer upside in the future. I don't see it at all in Will Riley's raw skill set, and it's not a building block for them. Number 4, the Nets taking Nolan Traore at pick 19. It's the second L domino that falls for the Brooklyn Nets. He was projected top 10 if you look at this time last year, but he fell because he was unbelievably bad in France, like unbelievably inconsistent. This happens so often in the NBA draft that teams, they think the idea of players is better than the actual player they are, and when you think like that, it never really pans out. It overlaps with taking other inconsistent guards for the Nets. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? His size, his ball handling, his playmaking, those are the traits that's appealing. But I don't understand how all of these players on the court are going to effectively coexist with each other, let alone individually exist, since I'm extremely low on all of them as prospects. Jordi Fernandez, I love him as a coach, but he's got to have an absolute masterclass in development. He's got to make miracles happen this season. They're absolutely redundant in their skill sets. I can't find much to like out of any of these players. Number 3, the Nets. They took Jaeger Demon at 8. Taking up 3 spots in the top 10, it's still the Brooklyn Nets. Jaeger Demon at 8 is crazy. Murray, Boyles, and Coward are right there. They're on the table. They're for your taking. I also didn't like the Cam Johnson move for MPJ, but that's a whole other story because if I was in charge with the Nets roster, the core pieces would be like Cam Johnson, Nick Claxton, Cedric Coward, Neat Clifford, Jace Richardson, Rasheer Fleming, Ryan Kalkbrenner. I think Day'Ron Sharpe is also decent for them. Jaeger Demon's idea of him is way better than the actual player he is. It's a common theme with all the Nets picks, and it's a common theme in all busts. I would not be surprised if all the Nets picks are just out of the league within 5 years max. They want Jaeger Demon to be like a Josh Giddey or something. But his best skill is playmaking, and even that's overrated. It's so overrated because he's got so many turnover issues. He can't take care of the basketball, and he's constantly forcing the ball. He's not a lockdown point of attack defender, and he has to be because he can't guard wings. He's not athletic enough, and he'll get overpowered by those wings. He can't guard them. He's a physical liability. What are we doing? In the top 10? That's crazy. Number 2, the Pelicans taking Jeremiah Fears, pick 7. Competing for the top 2 worst-run organizations in the league is clearly the Nets and the Pelicans. It's clear. You take Jeremiah Fears here when you could have gone with Murray, Boyles, or Coward. Right there in front of you for the taking. Right there. He doesn't have the physical tools, Jeremiah Fears, to ever be a positive defender. So you just took a defensive liability with the 7th pick. Does the offensive game make up for the defensive flaws? No. He's inefficient. He's a poor shooter. So the only thing you like is the ability to attack the basket and draw contact. But with a more physical NBA, it's not going to work like it did in college. I think he'll have an immensely difficult time trying to score the basketball. He's ball dominant. He doesn't help the Pelicans' spacing issues, that's for sure. It's a gamble on potential when the production doesn't ever make me trust that potential will ever be realized. Number 1, the worst move is obviously the Pelicans trading a future first to take Derek Queen, who probably drops to 23 anyways if you stay there. It's the worst move in the draft because They parted ways with their Indiana Pacers first-round pick to get that pick 23. Their next year Indiana Pacers pick when Tyrese Halliburton tore his Achilles. Obviously, you didn't know that was going to happen, but you lost that pick. And then on top of that, you lost the better pick of the Milwaukee Bucks and the Pelicans first. So you traded 2 potential lotto firsts for Derek Queen? It's terrible. It's a disaster class in running an organization. Did Dumars solely make this move himself? Like, did the other people in the organization sign off? Or is this just Dumars ruining a franchise future, like he did historically with the Pistons? The Pelicans team, they looked extremely appealing a few years ago. Now it's in absolute ruins. It's in shambles. It has no hope of being good unless Zion plays 70 games. I graded Fears as undrafted. Queen for me was a late second rounder. I'm so low on both of these players. It's wild to me. It's flat out stupid. I have no idea what Joe Dumars is doing or if he's even serious.